Good afternoon, folks. Let's get this show on the road. I have just made a markers folder. We are going to bring up our maps so that we can have a look at the map at the moment. We're going to be extending this to see what size we need. Right, once we do this, now I'm not entirely happy with the minimap yet, but we're going to carry on with it anyway. So, with that in mind, we're going to open our minimap, open our markers, and then we're going to import this. Then we're going to set this over to good morning to Ali Pie. I guess you're on the west coast somewhere. Right, so we'll bring up that, and then we're going to create a material out of it. And that's going to be called Mat, and we'll call it Monster Star. We'll open it up, and this is going to be translucent. That's okay. And I'm getting this all wrong, because this should be on opacity, and then what we'll do is a vector 3. We don't actually need that to be a parameter, but anyway. So this is going to be 1, 1, 1, 1. Now, hang on a second. I've just thought of something. I have just thought of something. That's a minimap. And that's okay. But it was in our stake, wasn't it? Oh, hi there, Mr. Spock. Long time no see. Right, so the thing we want here for a laugh is in our pickups, right? We're going to have this plane, and it's this Mat Stake Mini. Now, I'm just wondering here if I've been kinda silly. And wait a minute. So if we go 1 and 1, and then save that, right? And then we press play. You see, we don't have it on the minimap, which is not what we want, right? So that kind of suggests to me that, you see, when I had this in 5, I didn't need to hook it up to the emissive, right? Simple as that. Right, you'll notice now we can see that perfectly well. Okay, so that is a weird one. So we're going to go to markers, we're going to go to our material, and we're also going to bring it into here. Right, so we've saved that, and what we want to do now is we're going to do this as part of the minimap, I would say. Actually, you know what we'll do? We'll create an actor, right? And this is going to be BP monster marker. Okay, and then what I can do from here is I can copy the blueprint now from 5. Right. And stop that for now. All that is basically we bang down a plane and we use this material, and then we go 2 and 2, compile that, and this should be at -10, file, save all. Then what we can do is we can basically drag one in here and press play, and there's our star, right? So that's cool, obviously. So now we open this up, and we add a variable, and it's going to be ref monster, and to start with this is going to be BP like, Now, I don't know if that's the right one or not, to be honest. If we actually go into here, and we rename this, and we'll say it's original, and then this doesn't change, so we're okay, right? So now we go into the event graph, we delete these, we copy that, we create a custom event, add a custom event, and update marker. Then we paste that. Okay. Then this gets removed. Then we drag this down and we split this, and that stays at -10. Then we plug that in there, we plug that in there, we drag this up, we plug that in there, we grab that, right? And then this is going to be instance editable expose on spawn. Then we do self there. Then we do event begin play. Right, and we basically say timer by function name, and that's going to be update marker. Then we can set it to update once every 2 seconds, looping, and go. Then on our actual monster, where's our monster? Right, so it's not that one, it's this one. So we spawn this actor and we say -10, and then the class is going to be marker. Okay, and then we plug in that, and that is it. So now we should be able to drag in a monster save that. Oh, it's very neat. Right, so there is our you can see our thing moving about. Now, as I said, not updating it quite so quickly. The star, right? We don't want the lake to be seen, right? So all we need to do there is add to our, we say minimap hidden, and when we add that, then we're good. And you can now see that our dude moves around. Okay. Now, I came to the realization of why these lights go out, right, when you look away from them. And it's basically because the particle effect is the thing that's emitting the light, right? So that's why, basically, when you're not looking at them, they go out. So what we actually need to do there is we need to actually add a light to BP lighting, basically, right? So the easiest way to do that is if we go to layout parts, then we go to the layout straight, then we go to one of the lightings, then we open the actual lighting, right? What we need to do is add a point light. Okay, and that point light is not going to have a very high intensity, right? And we'll make it a bit more orangey. Okay, that. Oh yeah, I better make sure the light's in the right place, eh? So it should actually be there, and then that should be 0 and 0 and 0. Okay, and then what we can do now is we can have a look to see and basically we don't want those lights to go off, right? So in actual fact, what we should do isn't to plug it onto there. Now that's still in the same place, but right, so that's fine. Right, we'll go for there. Right, and then we're going to go for, let's say 1,000 at the start, right? Right, so it's not going to be anywhere near 1,000. We'll go 250. And then we're going to pull this attenuation ring down. Right. Can you press play there? And it does get a kind of bit darker, but nowhere near as bad as it was. Right, it's nowhere near as bad as it was. Right, at least we can actually goddamn well see now. Okay. What was I checking? Oh yeah, I was checking the minimap, wasn't I? Right, so the minimap's good. Now we need to check his, what do you call it? We need to check his behavior tree. Right. So that's cool. So he's wandering. Oh, I know what the problem is. I haven't set up his perception. You see? So we need to set up his sight and sight. And I can't remember what I set this up in the other one, so we'll have a quick check. It's just default. And basically what you do is set these two up. Is the same thing. And finally, max age of 1. Okay. So that should work a bit better. Go back to our monster now. It should actually perceive us now. Yep, it's chasing us. And then it's chasing us again. And I think what we'll do is we'll change that, because that seems to be way too much. Right, that max age seems to be too short. Maybe 2 is a better value for that, to get them to chase a bit longer. Now this like isn't going to change. I'm currently in... There's somebody currently working on this for me. Some modeling stuff. So that's all working. And we've got 2 major things to sort out. Right? We have the pickup marker, right? Because you'll see here that it basically gives you some, shows something kind of rubbish. Right? So you'll notice it comes up with text block, which isn't exactly what we want. So I'm going to close all of these down for now. There's 2 major things we need to do here. We need to do the map pickup, and I'm not too sure if I've actually got... I think I did do that. If we look at blueprints here, go to main, and this can go, this is our controller at the moment, right? And this is the thing that shows our so that's update pickups, right? That's fine, that's all fine. Right, that's end the level. Right, that resets the timer. And that resets the bonus counter. And here's our widget here. Okay. And it looks like our, yeah, that's not exactly any good to us. I'm going to go for this as on event construct. Right, so we need to actually copy this code over, which is fine. So we need to minimize this for now. it's not in there. Right, and we know it's not that one. It's this one, and you guys can't see this. I keep doing that. I keep talking while I'm as if you guys are looking at it and you're not. Right. Now we've got the bonus number, which is cool. And we need another custom event here, and it's called remove self. And that's basically it. And copy that, and this is 3. Are you still there, Mr. Spock? Right, we join that up. We join that up. Then we say pickups. That goes to there. That goes to there. Whoops, a daisy. That goes to there. This goes to here. This goes to here. That goes to there. And yep, that's got a space on the front. That's saved. Hey Asha Gupta, how you doing, bud? And rendered you. Dedication. Some people would call it complete madness. Right. So now I'm still not happy with that blooming minimap. We have got sound effects, by the way. Ten pickups. Cool. Right, so that's working. Yeah, it's definitely getting. You're definitely walking faster as you go, by the way, which is part of the game. As you pick up more pickups, you go faster and faster. Right. So that's cool. That all works. You can hear the sound effects. Maybe it's coming through the speakers and then through my microphone again. But I can actually switch the actual sound on. Right, I'm going to go and grab myself a cigarette. I shall be back in 2 minutes. And by the way, Mr. Spock, you missed out on being the first Patreon. Right, so I'm going to go and grab a cigarette. Don't go anywhere. If you're enjoying the stream, hit like and subscribe. And check out the description for Discord and Patreon links and a link to my previous game. I shall be back in 2 minutes. Okay guys, we're back. Right. So now that we've done that, we've got one more part to add. And first of all, I'm going to show you how the game should look, right? Because basically I have to put a directional light in here so that I can see what the hell I'm doing, right? But if we turn the intensity down to 0 and then press play, that's how the minimap should kinda look. Kinda. And we're going to do something about that. Now here's the thing. Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Spock. That's very kind of you. Right, so basically that's how things should look when we press play. Except for one thing. We don't have an outline of our actual map anymore. And this is kind of where it was weird in comparison to the version 5 or UE5 version of the game, right? Because it kind of worked the way it was, and I haven't done anything different. There's some slight differences in the materials, right? But that's about it. Right, but the way I was thinking of doing it anyway was to actually, I'll show you, right? The best way to show you is if I create basically, right, I'm going to show you here, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the floor, right? I'm lying. I'm going to duplicate the floor, right? And we'll need to think of a name for this, because this is going to be what you see underneath, right? So we're going to call it Minimap. Okay, we're not going to call it anything apparently. We're going to call it Minimap straight, right? And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these in another folder, and I'm going to call it Minimap blockout, right? And then that can go in there for now. And I'm going to show you what I mean by this, right? So what I'm going to do is, if you look at the viewport, what you've actually got is the floor, right? Now, I do want this, well, I don't want this floor, but what I do want is, I want two planes, right? And what I want is basically not to do that. What I actually want is for this to be 4. right? And then what I want is probably this to be 0.5. And then what I want is to duplicate that and then basically to move it to there, right? And then what we do is we delete the floor, and this is where the magic happens, right? What we do is we select the two planes and then we hit them at -10, right? And then what we do is we be smart about this, right? So what we actually do now is we go to our layout parts, we go to our layout straight, we go to our viewport, right? And then what we do is we drop in our layout straight, okay? And now what you'll see, unless I have to change the material again, which I might have to do here. Yeah, we're gonna have to change the material, right? But now underneath the floor is what our minimap will see, okay? So all we need to do is in here we will create a new material and we'll call it map minimap white, okay? Then what we'll do is we'll create a vector 4 parameter. Now this actually would allow us to do more colors. We could actually do this in colors now that we've actually done some weird stuff, right? But what we can do now is put that in the base color and then put it in the emissive color, right? And then we basically set everything to 1, and that's going to give us white. We'll save that. Then if we open our straight, no we don't, we open up this one, we get our plane and we put our minimap white on it, right? And then we get our other one and we put minimap white on it, okay? And then what we do is we press play. And it's still not there, would you believe? Right, okay, whatever. I haven't got this set up to be... Oh, you're welcome, Thomas. Welcome to the stream. I'm just going to make sure here that this minimap is not set up, that I've made it hidden. And I have. That's why it's not doing it. You'll notice here. Oh, crashy poo. We love a good crash. Right, how bad a crash is it going to be? How bad a crash is this going to be? Yeah, old poopy pants. Skip. And how much have we lost is the question. And oh, we have got a bit of a crash here, because if it isn't a bad crash, then it basically reacts straight away. It'll open straight away. The worse the crash, the longer it takes to sort itself out. And this makes me think that we're going to have lost a little bit. But it's all good. We shall get there in the end, guys. Oh, by the way, Mr. Spock, my previous patron, a guy called Jameson, very nice guy, and he wanted to make a game, and basically he was on the same wavelength as you, that he wanted to basically make Grand Theft Auto himself as a very first project, and I talked him down a bit. And basically, he pointed out a game to me. And he said, I want to try and make something like this. So this was last week. Basically a week ago. And he explained the game to me and showed me a video of it. And I said, that looks easy enough. And that's what this is. I've basically done it in about a week. We've got most of the stuff that we need. The pickups, the display. We brought over a basic menu. We've got monsters, pickups, speed ups, endy levels, mini maps. So yeah, that's how I ended up doing this and taking it. Now, it's a nice little palette cleanser from Fabrica Espace. But yeah, we've got a bit of a crash going on here. No, I haven't lost the project, Thomas. At worst, I've lost what I just did, right? But I can put it all back together pretty quick. I might not have lost anything. Although, probably. Come on. When it does this and it doesn't react, right, that normally means you've lost something. Yeah, if it loads up straight away and you're allowed to go in and click on stuff and do stuff, then that normally means that you've probably not lost anything. But if it takes ages for it to react to like opening asset editors and stuff like that, then yeah, we've probably lost something. But hey, shit happens, you know. You put it down as a learning thing, right? That's the way I look at it. It's like the second time I do it, I can do it quicker, right? Because I know exactly what I need to do now. Come on. It happens. Considering I've spent the last 3 days downgrading this from Unreal Engine 5 down to 4.27, a 10-minute loss of work ain't that big of a deal. It's okay, I can retrieve stuff if I need to. Just for those who don't know, your autosaves do help you sometimes, because if I go back to here and then go to saved and then go to autosaves and game, then these are all the autosave stuff. So you'll notice that, well, that's nothing that I've changed, so I wouldn't worry about that. And I haven't changed any of them recently, so it ain't any of them either. So if anything, it's going to be possibly this, but there wasn't that much code that I changed anyway, at least I don't think so. It was that widget, if anything. The widget plus the monster pickup, or sorry, the monster marker, which ain't going to take me long to actually do anything with. So I'm guessing it was probably in, and it's not in there, right? So it's actually going to be in here, and here, and it's going to be this one here. So yeah, planes are notoriously difficult to render. Right, there we go. We're good. It's all good. You just need a little bit of patience. Right? Nothing to worry about. Right? So we can easily see what's going on here. Right? Minimap. Want to pick up some of these. Right, we haven't lost that much because our monster is still wandering about and he's still there. Oh, apart from the fact, right. So, as I said, our widget for our pickups, right, and we've still got everything barring this, right, which we have still got. Everything else we've still got, right. It's just the pickup thing we lost, nothing to worry about. Now, this is really weird actually. Right, there we go. Right. And this doesn't look right. Right, so we lost a little bit here, but didn't lose that much to be fair. Right, so we need our plane. Right, and this is going to be 0.5. Right, and we know this is going to be 4. and it's going to be -10. Now you'll see the reason for this in a minute, right? Trust me, I'm a doctor. Right, so that's cool. Then we'll duplicate that, right? And that goes there. Save that, right? We delete our floor, right? And we'll do these one at a time. We'll save that, right? We'll do a save all for Mr. Spock to keep him happy and off my back, right? And then we'll do that. We'll save that, right? And then we'll go to our layout straight, and we'll go to our viewport, right? Now, this is where it gets important. The reason it's at -10 is because we want it underneath, okay? And the reason we want just the planes is to basically mark the outline of our actual straightway here. Now, we're going to make these for a T-junction, a four-way, and a straight, okay? We don't need one that marks out a door as such, right? But what we do now is we drop that there, we save that, we save all, right? And what we could actually do is bring those in a tiny bit, but I'm going to show you the effect this now has on the actual map. It won't have an effect on the map, it will have an effect on the minimap. Okay? Oh, yeah, that's the thing. If you remember rightly, this, for some reason, was set with the hide marker on it. You'll notice here it's got minimap hidden. So all we do is we take that off, we save it, and we press play. Voila, minimap. Okay, pretty cool, huh? So, to make it look even better, we just go to our directional light and hit 0 on lux, and we'll hit save all again for Mr. Spock's benefit, and press play, and there we go. Now, obviously we need to do the T-junction and the little bits that join the edges up. No, it doesn't constantly know my location. Okay, let's go over that, shall we? Okay, Thomas, the way it works is this. It runs AI. Okay, and it runs a behavior tree. Okay, so when it first starts, it has a state of waiting. Then it waits for 2 seconds just to give everything time to basically get loaded. And then it sets itself to wander. Okay? Then what it does is it finds a random location within 2000 units and moves to it. If it sees the player, it then starts heading towards the player. Okay, it's not going to do anything once it gets to the player yet, right? That's still to be done. But the point of the matter is that we're just getting to make sure that the monster will chase you, which it will. Right, now the other thing is, there's another function on the monster that if you move within a certain range of it, it'll automatically perceive you. So you can't like sneak up behind it like you can in some games that are really stupid, right? Now, I was going to do it with sound. You saw me, if you were here earlier, you would have saw me doing the sight, right? But I was going to do it with sound as well, right? But at the moment, it's basically got a sphere around the monster. And if you enter that sphere, no matter what direction the monster's facing, it perceives you. Okay? That's how the monster works. Okay, now if it stops perceiving you, then it goes back basically to waiting for 2 seconds and then starting wandering about. Okay? So basically, what I just did there with the minimap was actually what I was going to do anyway. Right? These lines that I put in there, you'll notice that the monster didn't come towards me this time because it didn't perceive me. It's not close enough. Right? So the monster will just wander about. We've lost the monster marker. Right? Now he still wasn't close enough to perceive me there. You need to kind of work out. Now if I move up to him, he's perceived me now, right? Okay, he hasn't. I've lost all the monster stuff. Right? So I need to go in here and reset this up. So I go in here and you'll notice it's got no senses configured. Right? So this is why it ain't actually chasing me. Now I did set that up a minute ago, as you'll have seen. But that's what we lost, okay? So we set the max age to 2 and we set it to detect neutrals and enemies, and we save that, and we'll do a save all, and then in our HUD, you see we've got markers. We've still got our monster star, but it looks like we've lost. No, we haven't lost that. Make sure that's okay. That's okay. Save that. Right, so we've lost the code for the monster marker. Okay, so what we'll do is we've kept that, that's okay. But what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to go back to version 5 and copy the code again. I could rewrite it, but it's easier just to copy it. Right, let me find this. Right, so we just copy that, and we've lost our variable. So ref monster, right? Because this could be any monster, right? But at the moment it's going to be BP like, right? But in theory, it can be any monster at all. And it's going to be instance editable and expose on spawn, because the monster itself is going to spawn its own marker, right? So that's the way that's going to work. And then if we go into the code, we do an event begin play. Right, and we do custom event, and it's called update marker. Right, and we drag this in because we're going to use that in a minute. Then we paste and we've got one more thing to do after this, which is basically the map pickup, because you don't automatically start with the minimap. And my mouse, it seems to think it's moving through sludge. Right, this self goes in here. We're going to have to drop this down a bit because we're going to split this pin, and we're going to say this mini marker is always going to be set at -10 on Z. Then we're going to split. We're not going to do that. We're going to split this pin. Oh, my mouse has its days. Right. And the final thing we need to do now is do the begin play. Right. Which is a whole lot of code that equates to that. Right, so that's going to be an update marker, and as I said, we can set that. Now that means that it's only going to run once. I could do this in real time and make it on event tick, right? But number one, you don't use event tick where at all possible. Number two, this actually adds to the jeopardy of the game, because you never quite know where exactly the monster is. Right? You know it's moving. You've kind of got an idea where it was moving 2 seconds ago, but you don't know exactly where it is at that particular point. Right? So that is the idea for this. Now, what we need to do now is copy this again. We did lose a little bit. But it was a lot of little bits and not a huge big bit. Right, so we need to go into monsters. No, we don't. We need to go into undead pack and into blueprints, get this guy, and you'll notice this was actually already here. I had just disconnected it, so it wasn't the fact that I didn't lose this. This was already here, right? But it does need a refresh on the nodes, except for the fact that it should be marker. Right, and this should go in here, and this is going to be -10. Okay, so now this is the interesting part for Thomas. You'll get to see the behavior tree actually doing something. Right, so you'll notice that it's going down. Now it's wandering. And then if it jumps into this third one, that means it's spotted me. There you go, it spotted me and it's chasing me. Okay? Now you'll notice it's chased me again. So if I look round, there it's on me, right? And I've gone into a corner again. And there it's chased me again, even though it couldn't see me at that point. Right? That was me moving into its sphere of influence. And you'll notice that's it lost track of me. And it's now just wandering. Okay? So that second option is basically find a random location. And you can now see it on the minimap as well. Okay? Okay? So there you go. That's how it works. Pretty cool, I'd say. So I would actually go with the fact that these actually need to come in a bit. Right, I want these in line with the actual You're joking me. You're right. For some reason it seems to have a problem with these bloody planes. Yeah, it seems to have an issue with those planes for some reason. Yeah, we're not losing anything this time, I don't think. You see how this time it's loaded up straight away? Right, we've lost this part. And I think that's it. So if I say marker, then we've still got a ref monster and stuff, so that's okay. And that is going to be -10. Yes, but I don't know why. The emissive, for whatever reason, the minimap in 4.27 needs emissive, right? In version 5, I didn't need to connect the emissive, right? But like, if I don't connect the emissive, this won't show up for whatever reason. Now, it might be something to do with the scene capture 2D component, right? But fundamentally, yeah. I'll keep an eye on it. Right, give me a second, guys. I'm going to grab a drink out of the fridge. I shall be right back. Okay, we are back, and Thomas, you're welcome to join the Discord. It's in the link's in the description. Right, so what have we got to do now? Well, we've got one more pickup to do, which is the map pickup. Automatically we're showing the map at the moment, but that's not the way it's supposed to work in the end. I'll show you how we have... I'll show you how we've done that, right? Or how we've made it so that it's available. Right, if we look at our straight piece, that's actually an end part, right? Actually, they've all got it because it's in the base layer, right? So, but if we look at right, just let's find the damn thing. It's in here anyway. Right, so if we go to a straight, right, you'll notice it's got pickup settings. So it has map pickup, or it has a speed pickup, or it has a stun pickup, right? So basically I can tell it to not have the stake and instead have a map pickup. So I can basically, and these are all, I can set these all up in the editor, right? They've all got the speed pickup by default, right? But if I go into my map here, or let's say here, I can set these up and say, right, I don't want a stake there, I want a map pickup. Right, so it's kind of configurable. Okay. And also, if you hadn't noticed, that the actual straight parts are all configured themselves as well. Right, so they're randomly generated of basically what they show and what they don't show. Right, so it's like, this is it here, where if it's got a light, then it takes away the picture. If it hasn't got a light, there's a chance it shows the picture, and this happens on the left and the right. Okay, so you'll notice, and also these blocks, wooden blocks, are randomly generated as well. There's a 20% chance that there'll be one of these wooden blocks to break. Okay? So that's how it works. Okay? So the last thing that we actually need to do here is our map pickup. Okay? And again, what we're going to do is we're going to pull it from our version 5. Right? So we'll minimize that for now. And then we're going to go into pickups. And then we're going to create a new folder. And this is going to be map pickup. Okay. And then we're going to create a material, and this is, remind me guys, I'm going to be using the emissive again here, so I'm going to have to remember and we'll call it pick up mini map. Right, so we're going to do a save all. Right, and we're actually going to use clear flat icons for this, right? And I can't remember which one it is. Is it app? I don't think it's app. Is it? I think it might be in common. Right, it's going to be that. Okay. And it's going to be translucent. And that's going to go in there. The alpha is going to go in there. Then we're going to do a save all. And then this is going to go in emissive. Right, and we're going to close that down. Okay, now what we need now is 2 new classes. So we'll minimize that down. We'll close this down. We'll go back to our map pickup. And we create an actor. And it's going to be BP map pickup. Right, we need 2 of these because one of these we're going to make invisible. Right? But the other one we're not. Right, weirdly enough. So we're going to go in here first. And we're going to copy some code. Right, now we've got a thing here. So we're going to bring this in, then we're going to add a static mesh. And it's going to be a scroll, a scribble, and I still can't spell it. More haste, less speed. Right, so this is going to be scroll. Okay, so it might not be that one. In fact, it's nearer them. So it's from a different asset thing. Let's see this. Will this do? Yeah, it'll do for now. right? And then we begin overlap. We delete the rest of it. Right? And then we paste code. Right? Then we go actor, target. Then it's going to be player. Then it's going to be that. And this is going to need BPI pickup. And we might need to add the BPI pickup thing now. And I'm guessing that this goes to here. And I'm guessing that's going to be cast to Pawn Chronicles. Right, now we know we've got a sound here. Right, and this it's actually back click. Right, just let's pick anything, eh? Right, it doesn't really matter at this point, it's just some sound effect. Right, so this is an invalid message, and that's because we hadn't set up the class settings yet. So we say pickup in the interface, and then we destroy ourselves. Okay, we don't actually need this cast, to be fair. Right. And now this one is the one that's hidden, okay? So we basically come in here and we add our minimap hidden. Okay. That's us basically done with this. Okay. And now what we do is we create another blueprint actor. It's going to be BP underscore pickup mini map. Right, and basically we drop this in, and it's going to be at a height of, I believe, 130. Where'd it go? So it actually looks to me like we want to give it a 90. Or do we? No, don't think we don't. Don't think we do. I mean, what we could do later is make these spin or something, do something with them. But at the moment, we don't really need to. So we add another component, and it's going to be the old plane, right? And I believe these are like 1.5 by 1.5. And we're going to save that, and then we're going to do a save all, right? Because the next thing we're going to do is basically go like that. Okay? Save that. And if we now open this thing up, we basically copy that, copy something on the other thing, we delete that, right? We go to our class settings and we add our pickup again. We save that, and then on the event pickup, on our interface call, we do that. Okay? So we're going to delete that. Then this is going to be a cast to Pawn Chronicles. That's going to go there. Okay. Then we're going to have pickup count. Delete that. Then total pickups, and you'll see why we're doing this in a moment, because we're going to do that, and then we're going to do collected and that. So that's going to update immediately our minimap with the number of pickups we have. Okay, then we're going to get this, and we're going to say set ref minimap, so now when we've actually got, when we create the minimap, right, we're setting the reference in our player controller, and that is us. So we now have our minimap. So in theory, I should be able to drop that in there. Except our plane should be -10. File, save all. And I think we'll have these rotating. What do you think? Makes sense. Right, now our minimap, we do actually want... Let's have a look. If I bring this up... Right, okay, plane. No, sorry. We'll rotate this 90. Okay. So now, if I do a save all, right, and what I'll actually do is I'll move... Where did our minimap go? If I go to mini... that wasn't a good idea, was it? We're going to think it's at the bottom. There, it's there. Right. So what we'll do is we'll move it to the corner. Basically here. Right. And yeah, that'll do. Right. So what we want to do is we want to go to our pawn. Right, and on begin play we don't create the minimap. Now there was one more thing that I needed to do with this, but we'll do that in a second. Right, so you'll notice that we have got no minimap, right, but if I run down here, there's our map and there is our minimap. Okay, so we now have a minimap pickup. And there we go. Okay, so that's all working. Now, what I thought was kind of interesting was that what's the point of having like a minimap marker if you haven't got a minimap to see the marker, right? That dawned on me once when I was actually making the minimap, and when I was actually doing the minimap pickup, it dawned on me that there's no point in having like a question marker, because I suppose what you could do is you could set it so that you've got a minimap, but it doesn't have anything on it other than the minimap pickup, right? And it's only when you pick up the minimap that it shows you all the other markers. Okay, that's kind of a thought, or not worry about it. Right, I'm just reading the chat here, Thomas. It'll take you quite a while. Yeah, it'll take you a while, but you've just got to work at it and learn the basics first. Will I make it bigger? Notices you. I could do that. It depends. you've got to start playtesting it to find out what you need to change. Right, you need to change the speed, whether you change the speed of the monsters, whether you change the distance that they see you, whether, you know, other things. Will I upload the game when it's done? Yeah, I'll upload it to Steam. Right, this isn't my main project. This is a side project to help my students, basically, of how to do certain things. Right. Anyway, our minimap is working, okay? And what we need to do next is update our text bonus widget. Widget pickup bonus. Right, this thing here. Because this is one of the things we lost in our little crashes. Right, now there wasn't actually much to this code, if I remember rightly. Right, we have got the bonus number. We need a custom event. And it's remove self, and then we delay. Now I could put this on a timer by function name as well. I don't need to do this with a delay. I don't actually know what the difference would be. And that's going to be remove from parent, and it's just self. Right, and then this, we need to copy a bit of code here, and that goes in here. We'll do that. I just need to basically get some of the gameplay loops down. And there's a person working on models for us. So once we can bring them into the game, it's going to be a lot better, because it's going to look a lot more unique rather than... Now I'm going to do something also with this wallpaper, so that the wallpaper will change as well, right? So every time you play it, it might be a different wallpaper on the walls. So as I said, it's to make it as random as possible without changing the gameplay, right? Because the gameplay loop will stay the same, right? But there's things going to change within the game, like the number of monsters, or where the monsters are spawned, or the level you're on, etc, etc, right? But fundamentally, the gameplay loop is Pac-Man in 3D. That's what it is, right? But a scarier version of Pac-Man, right? So that is the thought process behind this, right? So if we do a save all, I have pretty much brought everything in now in to the game from the version 5 setup, right? So here we have our, and there we have our minimap. Right? Now, as you can see, we've got like a 4-way junction there. Oh yeah, I was testing the pickups, wasn't I? Right. So our pickups are working. As I said, all of these aesthetic things like the widgets, all of that stuff, you'll notice, see that these lights aren't still not quite working the way they should. Right, because that's completely dark now. Right, I know there's a setting for this, right, that you can change it so that basically the lighting is, it doesn't fade in and fade out, right? Now, see, there's an issue there, right? If I turn around, it's completely dark. That shouldn't be the case. Now, there is a workaround for that, but and that's basically the end of the map there. And that's the end of that map. And we need to split up some of these longer straights. Right? But I'm liking it. I'm liking it. So, with that in mind, I'm going to call it for this afternoon. I shall be back at 8 PM Central. There's a couple of things that I want to add to it, like I want to add the corners on the minimap, right? See how it's, oh, I've got to go and collect the bloody minimap now. Right, you're obviously not going to be able to just run past a monster, right? That's just not going to happen, right? But I'm going to fill in those little parts, you know, that are missing on the corners. So I'll basically be doing a T-junction and a turn, etc, etc, so that the minimap just looks right instead of looking a bit weird. Okay, so if you've enjoyed the stream, hit like and subscribe, and check out the description for the Discord and support the channel from as little as $1 on Patreon, or check out my previous game on Steam, which is called FTD2. And even if you just add to your wish list. So thanks for watching, and I shall see you all in 4 hours time. Bye bye for now.